Good morning, students. Welcome to BSc 1 second semester Environmental Science class. So, today I am going to discuss on fundamental concepts and principles of ecology. Fundamental concepts and principles of ecology. So, there are certain basic fundamental ecological principles which describe various aspects of living organisms, such as evolution and distribution of plants and animals. So plants and animals have evolved from simpler form to more complex form. So how they are evolving, that is one of the principles, fundamental ecological principles. And second one is extinction of species. Species extinct. See, how they extinct, how they evolve, what makes them to be extincted. Extinction of species occur due to change in the environment. The adversible in unfavorable conditions may develop. As a result, these species may not survive, they extinct. This is another principle of ecosystem. Then consumption and transfer of energy in different components of biological communities. Consumption and transfer of energy. See, for all living beings, for performing their biological activities, they need energy. How they consume energy, how they get their energy, whether from the sun or from other sources, that we are going to study. Consumption and transfer of energy in different components of biological communities. Biological communities. How the energy is transformed from one biological community to another biological community. Communities means group of several species present in a particular area, all together form communities. So these communities include plant species as well as animal species. How their energy from one trophic level to another trophic level, how it moves, that you are going to study. Cycling and recycling of organic and inorganic substances. Cycling of organic and inorganic substances. Organic substances are present in the organisms. Inorganic substances are present in the non-living environment. So inorganic substances are used by the organisms to make them organic. So organic substances are formed by the inorganic substances. How they are recycling, how they are moving from one trophic level to another trophic level, or from living world to non-living world. Next, interactions and interrelationships among the organisms. Interactions and interrelationships among the organisms. See, organisms are having interrelationship with the members of their own species or the members of the other species. So plants and animals are interrelated for their biological requirement. Plants require carbon dioxide from the animals. Animals obtain oxygen from the plants. See how these two are interrelated. Like that, several interrelationships can be traced in living world. So between organisms and physical environment. See the between organisms and physical environment, how the interrelationship is existing. See, organisms present in an environment, they have relationship with the surrounding environmental factors. So that we are going to study. The following are the fundamental concepts and principles in ecology, beginning with organisms and the environment. Organism and the environment. Organisms are individual living things. Organisms are individual living things. Despite their tremendous diversity, all organisms have the same basic needs, energy and matter. Despite their, you know, diversity in their structure, diversity in their behavior, they still want energy and matter for their survival. These must be obtained from the environment. So we people, human beings or any other animals, obtain their energy from the surrounding environment. Therefore, organisms are not closed systems. Organisms are not closed systems. They cannot survive on their own. They survive only in environment by getting certain requirements from surrounding environment. So there is a relationship between environment and organisms. So organisms are not closed system. They are open system. They are open with the surrounding environment. They depend on and are influenced by their environment. Yes, they are depend on or influenced by the environment. Suppose fishes are present in water. Fishes are present in water. So fishes are present in the environment, water. So they can survive only in water only, not on land. So in order to adjust to the water environment, they have gills. Their body shape is so structured to suit to the aquatic environment. Like that, uh, dependence is there in organisms on their surrounding environment. They depend on and are influenced by their environment. The environment includes two types of factors. You take any environment or surroundings made up of two factors, abiotic and biotic. Abiotic factors and biotic factors. See, the abiotic factors are the non-living aspects of the environment. They include factors such as sunlight, soil, temperature, and water. They do not have life, therefore they are called abiotic factors. Sunlight is necessary, soil is necessary, temperature is necessary, and water is required for the survival of organisms. So these are coming under abiotic factors. Then biotic factors. Biotic factors are the living aspects of the environment. They consist of other organisms, including members of the same and different species. Same species or different species, all come under biotic factors. Plants, animals, microorganisms, insects, birds, all types of plants, all living beings come under biotic factors. So niche, what is niche?
No, sir.
One of the most important concepts associated with the ecosystem is the niche. A niche refers to the role of a species in its ecosystem. It includes all the ways that the species interacts with the biotic and abiotic factors of the environment. So niche is the environment where a particular species interacts with the biotic and abiotic factors. So two important aspects of species niche are the food it eats and how the food is obtained. See, different species have different types of food and they obtain their food in different forms. So that comes under niche. Each species eats a different type of food and obtains the food in a different way. In a different way they obtain their food. For example, birds may get different types of food. Some are gramivorous, some are insectivorous, some feed on insects, some feed on grains, some feed on fruits. So different species of birds get their food in different way. Next, habitat. Another aspect of species niche is its habitat. The habitat is the physical environment in which a species lives and to which it is adapted. Physical environment. Habitat is nothing but physical environment where the particular species exist, can survive. Aquatic habitat, terrestrial habitat, In aquatic habitat, aquatic animals can live happily. On terrestrial land, terrestrial animals can live comfortably. So, that environment where the species are existing comfortably is known as habitat. Habitat's features are determined mainly by a variety of factors such as temperature and rainfall. Temperature and rainfall play a very important role in a habitat. These factors also influence the traits of the organisms that live there. So, in a forest ecosystem, the environment is different. In desert ecosystem, the environment is different. So, the organisms or the species of organisms which can survive in deserts cannot survive in forest. Those which are living happily, comfortably in forests cannot survive in deserts. So, their life depends on their habitat. So, according to their habitat, their body is structured. Competitive exclusion principle. A given habitat may contain many different species, but each species must have a different niche. So for example, aquatic habitat. In aquatic habitat, number of species of fishes are there. Okay, and their niche is different. Their particular niche is different. Their area of their survival is different. Two different species cannot occupy the same niche. Two species, not two organisms, two species cannot usually occupy the same niche in the same place for very long. This is known as competitive exclusion. Competitive exclusion principle. See, for example, birds feed on fruits. Birds feed on fruits. So different species of birds feed on different types of fruits. Okay, and they are situated. They are existing at different places of the tree. If two species were to occupy the same niche, they would compete with one another for the same food and other resources in the environment. If two species they have to survive in a common niche, they cannot survive. They cannot exist in the same niche for a long time. There would be a competition for their survival. There would be a competition. Which species is stronger? That can only survive. Eventually, one species would be likely to compete and replace the other. One is excluded, only one is retained. So this is called competitive exclusion principle. Competitive exclusion principle. Okay. So suppose if two species are grazing on grass. So which species? For example, goat and the cattle. You take cattle and goat. Both are feeding on grass. So which species can get more grass? Cattle, not the goat. So comparatively, the goat is weaker than cattle. So one is excluded and only one species can survive. So this is called competitive exclusion principle. One is excluded, only one species is retained. The ecosystem. What is ecosystem? An ecosystem is a unit of nature and the focus of study in ecology. What is ecosystem? Ecosystem is a unit of nature. Nature has several units. This one unit of nature is ecosystem. Pond ecosystem is there. Pond ecosystem is one ecosystem in the nature. forest ecosystem, desert ecosystem, grassland ecosystem. These are different units of nature. Okay, and it consists of all the biotic and abiotic factors in an area and their interactions. For example, pond ecosystem you take. In pond ecosystem, several organisms are there. Plants are there, animals like fishes are there, all survive and all get energy. All they get energy from that habitat, ecosystem. So they are interacting and they can sustain for a longer duration because there would be a flow of energy from one trophic level to another trophic level, and this is natural ecosystem. In natural ecosystem, the movement of energy is a continuous process. Ecosystems can vary in size. A lake could be considered an ecosystem, so could a dead log on a forest floor. Both are ecosystem. Both the lake and log contain a variety of species that interact with each other and with abiotic factors. Whether it is a lake or whether it is a dead log, they have their own ecosystem, and that ecosystem has biotic as well as abiotic factors. When it comes to energy, ecosystems are not closed. They need constant inputs of energy. Most ecosystems get energy from sunlight. Sun is the ultimate source of energy. So most of the ecosystems obtain their energy from sunlight. Sunlight, whether it is pond ecosystem or grass ecosystem or forest ecosystem or lake ecosystem or desert ecosystem, whatever it may be, all these ecosystems are the units of nature and they obtain energy from sunlight. A small minority gets energy from chemical compounds. Unlike energy, the matter is not constantly added to ecosystem. So small number of species may get their energy from chemicals. Chemoautotrophs are there, some bacteria. So they get their energy from inorganic substances. Instead, it is recycled. Water and elements such as carbon and nitrogen are used over and over again. The term ecosystem was coined by A.Z. Tansley in 1935. An ecosystem is a self-sustaining unit of nature. Yes, an ecosystem is a self-sustaining unit of nature. Self-sustaining. It can survive on its own. Therefore, it is called self-sustaining. If you make your own ecosystem, man-made ecosystem, like the aquarium. So aquarium is not a natural ecosystem, it is man-made ecosystem. In man-made ecosystem, the continuous supply of energies may not be there. So in natural ecosystems, they are self-sustaining because the energy is moving from one trophic level to another trophic level. So an ecosystem is a functional unit of nature encompassing complex interaction between its biotic and abiotic components. For example, a pond is a good example of an ecosystem. Many ecologists regard the entire biosphere as a global ecosystem. Entire biosphere. What is biosphere? Sphere of the environment, the atmosphere where life is existing. All together known as biosphere. Wherever life is existing, that comes under biosphere. In water, life is there. In air, life is there. In soil, life is there. All together form biosphere. So the biosphere is regarded as a global ecosystem, as composite of all local ecosystems on earth. All mini small ecosystems together form biosphere. In nature, Two major categories of ecosystems exist: terrestrial and aquatic. Forests, deserts, and grasslands are examples for the terrestrial ecosystems. Ponds, lakes, wetlands, salt water are some examples of the aquatic ecosystem. Croplands and aquarium are examples of man-made ecosystems. So these croplands, the farmers construct croplands, and aquarium, some people may keep aquarium in their house. That aquarium is man-made ecosystem. The interaction between living organisms and their environment can be studied in a puddle of water or hole in a tree, which are very small ecosystems, or in large ecosystems such as forest, river, or ocean. Irrespective of their sizes, all ecosystems share many common characteristics. Now, types of ecosystems. Ecosystems are classified as follows: natural ecosystems, man-made ecosystems. Natural ecosystems totally dependent on solar radiation. Example: forest, grasslands, oceans, lakes, rivers, and deserts. They provide food, fuel, fodder, and medicines to the organisms. Okay? Then ecosystems are dependent on solar radiation and energy subsides such as wind, rain, and tides. Example: trophic rainforest, tidal estuaries, and coral reefs. So all these are coming under natural ecosystems. Man-made ecosystems, they dependent on solar energy, agricultural fields, and aquaculture ponds. So people construct man-made ecosystems, agricultural fields, maybe agricultural fields, or aquaculture ponds. Aquaculture ponds means these are the ponds where the fishiculture is being performed. Then dependent on fossil fuel, urban and industrial ecosystems. Components of ecosystem, they are broadly grouped into abiotic and biotic components. Abiotic components of ecosystem. The abiotic component can be grouped into the following three categories. Abiotic components: physical factors, sunlight, temperature, rainfall, humidity, and pressure, atmospheric pressure. They sustain and limit the growth of organisms in an ecosystem. They sustain and limit the growth of organisms in an ecosystem. Okay? They limit the growth of organisms in an ecosystem. You take any ecosystem, for example, pond ecosystem. Pond ecosystem can have the number of species or number of individuals it can hold. If more than their capacity, number of species increase or individuals increase, they are perished, they are limited, controlled. Inorganic substances of ecosystem: carbon dioxide, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfur, water, rock, soil, and other minerals come under inorganic substances. Then organic compounds: carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and humic substances. They are the building blocks of living systems and therefore make a link between the biotic and abiotic components. So biotic components means living components. So you take any ecosystem, there would be three trophic levels, three components: producers, consumers, and decomposers. Producers produce food, consumers feed on the food, and decomposers decompose the living organisms. First one is producer. The green plants manufacture food for the entire ecosystem through the process of photosynthesis, Green plants are called autotrophs as they absorb water and nutrients from the soil, carbon dioxide from the air, and capture solar energy for this purpose. So producers produce food, means plants, green plants obtain energy from sunlight, and with the help of minerals, water obtained through roots, they prepare food for themselves and for the others, consumers. They are called heterotrophs and they consume food synthesized by the autotrophs. Based on food preferences, they can be grouped into three broad categories. Herbivores. Herbivores directly feed on plants such as cow, deer, rabbit. Feed directly on plants. Carnivores are animals which eat other animals. They are carnivores, like lion. Lion won't feed on plants. They feed on other animals, cat, dog, etc. They come under carnivores. And omnivorous organisms feeding upon plants and animals. Example, human beings. We feed on plant food as well as animal food, pigs and sparrow. So they are omnivorous. Then decomposers, third component of the ecosystem. Decomposers also called saprotrophs. They are also known as saprotrophs. So they feed on sucking the sap of organisms. These are mostly bacteria and fungi that feed on dead, decomposed and the dead organic matter of plants and animals by secreting enzymes outside their body on the decaying matter. They play a very important role in recycling nutrients. They are also called detrivores or detritus feeders. Means they feed on the dirty things. Decomposed organic substances are eaten up by the decomposers. Therefore, for any ecosystem, for its sustainability, existence, they should possess at least three components of biotic environment: producers, consumers, and decomposers. Okay. So assignments. What is ecosystem? What is ecosystem? And second one is what is niche?